and welcome to another episode. We're switching up the format for today's video. We are going to be talking about emotions, how to identify and name what you are feeling. So this can be quite hard for a lot of people. I find it's a really common skill that we often lack in or just find really difficult to do without clear instructions. So I thought I'd make a video to literally walk you through the process, and you can replay it as many times as you need, even save it for you to come back to. So it can be hard to change emotions when we don't know what they are. Some people's emotions are right there on the surface and it's easy to access and identify, and they always know how they feel about something. For others, we might have no idea what we're feeling or experiencing. We might even have periods of feeling numb or thinking that we have no feelings at all. So it can be hard to change from that position if we are stuck, don't know how to identify them, or feel like we can't. But our brain generates emotions whether we feel them or not. And our actions and our behaviours are guided by these emotions whether we're aware of the connection or not. So today we're going to talk about how to identify and name your emotions. I'm Rebecca and I'm a trauma and anxiety specialist. I'm a therapist that helps people with these sorts of issues, and I make mental health educational videos. So this is going to be part of a series that I'm going to do on emotion regulation, how you name and claim your emotions. So here are 5 steps. The first step is to engage in some kind of mindful observation. So what makes it mindful? To stop and pay attention and to not judge what it is that you're noticing or analyse it. Just observe. When you have a strong reaction to something, pause and bring yourself into a state of mindfulness where you're actively observing your thoughts and feelings. And for those of you who feel comfortable and able to do so, you can even observe your body sensations as well. Without judgment, I have to emphasise this has to be done from a place of curiosity. Thinking about your thoughts is called metacognition, and it's an important step, and it helps us not only be present in the moment, but also develop self-awareness. So we're not trying to analyse anything just yet. All we're doing is observing. So sit comfortably, close your eyes, and even focus on your breath. Observe your thoughts and your feelings as they come and go without trying to control or judge them. Do not try to do that at this point. That's not why we're doing this. So if your mind wanders, which it will, everyone's brain wanders, brains talk all the time. It's a healthy, normal, natural thing. But when it does that, bring the focus back to your breath. The breath is a really good anchor to help just sort of clear the page a little bit of our brain so that we can actually pay attention to what's happening right now. So pay attention to the thoughts as they pass through your mind and gently bring your attention back. And the sensations in your body. Noticing how your chest feels. Is your heart racing or does it feel steady? Maybe you have a lump in your throat. Are your thoughts negative or positive or neutral? If you have access to something to write with, you can write these thoughts down and keep track of them. Also helps us to spot patterns and maybe when we're feeling something frequently in a particular situation. So while you're thinking about your thoughts and maybe even writing it down and the body sensations, try to name the emotion that you're feeling. Now this can be easier for some than others at this point, but don't worry, we're just practicing. You can start with very general categories like happiness, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, or disgust. You might feel more complex, subtle emotions like that, like shame or guilt, relief or anticipation. A good way to practically do this is to look at an emotions list or wheel. You can get some of them on Google, but I actually have the link to something down below. It's an emotional processing and release program, and in that I give you an emotions chart as pretty much every emotion you would ever need to label, and it's really easy, done for you in a chart to help you identify it straight away. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. But you can find others online. So the key insight that I would do this, whether or not you're going to use an emotions chart, is emotions are described in one word, not a sentence. This is a common misconception and mistake I see people making, and it makes this process really difficult and people don't get anywhere if they don't take this away as a key point. So if you forget everything else in this video and you just walk away with this, it will still take you a long way. An emotion is summed up in a word. So something like, I feel like they're not listening to me, that's a sentence. It's actually a thought. Not listening to me is not an emotion, it's a judgment, it's a thought. Nothing wrong with it, but it's not a feeling. A feeling in that situation, as an example, might be anger, frustration. It could be another emotion, but summarised in one word, not a sentence. So if you find yourself using a journal and in the feelings column you're writing a sentence, it probably doesn't belong in that column. It belongs in the thought column. So just a key insight there, it is summarised in one word. So you might not be able to correctly identify your emotion each time, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at identifying your emotions, and it will also increase your emotional vocabulary as well. Now, the next step, once you logged what you think, logged what you feel, notice the body sensations, now you're in a position to decide how you want to respond to your emotions. So some emotions might need to be expressed. Others might just be signs of something that needs to change in life. Or maybe others just need to be acknowledged and allowed to pass. These are 3 very broad general ways that we can choose to respond to emotions. And just being able to identify and choose them means that you're so much further ahead than everyone else at regulating how you feel. And this has really big implications for your relationships, the type of jobs that you get. Literally everything in your life can be dependent on how well you can do this. And if you can get yourself in the position of recognising how you feel and deciding how you want to respond, you have way better odds at pretty much everything you do in life. So, for example, next time we feel a strong emotion, we might notice it's anger. And instead of yelling automatically and reacting to it without thinking, so we're not choosing how we're responding, we're just reacting. Instead, we might just take a few deep breaths. We might let it pass, or we might choose to find a way to put it into words calmly. You get to decide what you want to do with it. Another example might be sadness. And when you use this process, you can reflect and maybe decide that this is an emotion you want to express, so you might reach out to a friend. Don't worry if you can't always identify your emotions to begin with, or if sometimes you react in ways that you wish that you didn't. We're all practicing this. This is a life skill. And the more that you practice it, the better you'll get at it. So you're learning and growing, and sustained changes takes time. So stay tuned for more videos on emotional regulation. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Leave a comment down below of your experience using something like this and how successful it's been for you. And as always, I'll see you next time.